welcome to NDTV 24/7. I'm Priyanshi Sharma, and our focus remains the Prime Minister's visit to the United States. Well, the Prime Minister is currently being hosted for a lunch that's being hosted by the US State Department. Those are the visuals that we're showing you from that lunch. And just a short while ago, the Prime Minister addressed the gathering there, gave a press conference, delivered an address along with the US Vice President Kamala Harris and the US Secretary of State Antony Blinken. In that address, Kamala Harris talked about her Indian roots. She talked about how she has roots in the Indian state of Tamil Nadu, and she talked about how she has that deep connection with India till now. Now, this was sort of a meeting on a lighter note. It didn't have any of the deals or any of the serious discussions, strategic discussions that we've seen yesterday of Prime Minister Narendra Modi with the US President Joe Biden. Later tonight, the Prime Minister will also be addressing the Indian diaspora there in the United States in Washington before marking an end to his trip. So that's what's planned ahead. But currently, the Prime Minister is being hosted for a lunch by the State Department. Listen in to what the leader said a short while ago at the State Department lunch.
उपराष्ट्रपति कमला हैरिस की माताजी डॉक्टर श्यामला गोपालन 1958 में भारत से अमेरिका आई थी। उस समय अधिकांश लोगों के पास फोन नहीं होता था और इसलिए उनकी माताजी हाथ से लिखकर अपने परिवारजनों को पत्र भेजा करती थी और उन्होंने कभी भी भारत से रत्ती भर नाता टूटने नहीं दिया था। एक जीवंतता बनाए रखी थी। जो भी उपलब्ध माध्यम था उसका सर्वाधिक उपयोग भारत को, उनके अमेरिका के जीवन को निरंतर जोड़ने में लगा रहा था। हजारों मीलों की दूरी के बावजूद भी भारत हमेशा उनके करीबी था। मैडम वाइस प्रेसिडेंट, उनकी इस प्रेरणा को आपने आज नई बुलंदियों तक पहुंचाया है। सेक्रेटरी ब्लिंकन, जब मैंने प्रारंभ में सूर और गीतमाला जैसे शब्दों का प्रयोग किया तो मेरा एक इशारा आपकी तरफ भी था। पूरा विश्व आपकी डिप्लोमेटिक स्किल्स को तो जानता ही है और मैं तो भली भांति जानने लगा हूं। आपके म्यूजिकल टैलेंट के चर्चे भी बहुत है। हजारों मीलों का सफर तय करते हुए गंभीर से गंभीर मसलों के बीच संगीत को आपने जगह दी है। यह हम सभी के लिए बहुत प्रेरक है। हमारी स्ट्रेटेजिक पार्टनरशिप को मजबूत करने में आपका बहुत महत्वपूर्ण योगदान है। इसके लिए मैं आपको हृदय से बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद देता हूं।
The history and teachings in India and of India have not only influenced me, they of course have shaped the entire globe, as Secretary Blinken just described. Throughout history, India has inspired millions of people around the world, whether through philosophy and theology, the power of civil disobedience, or the commitment to democracy. Indeed, as I travel the world as Vice President, I have seen India's global impact firsthand. In Southeast Asia, Indian-made vaccines have saved lives and livelihoods. On the continent of Africa, India's long-standing partnerships support prosperity and security. And throughout the Indo-Pacific, India helps promote a free and open region.
We're diplomats right here at the State Department, where a man whose father came to America with just a bus ticket and $14 in his pocket rose to become the first United States Indian American ambassador to India. And today, Richard Rahul Verma serves as the Deputy Secretary of State. The highest-ranking Indian American official in the department's history.
And right before this, the Prime Minister had also attended a high-tech handshake event on the last day of his visit. He held one-on-one discussions with various CEOs, the top CEOs of global companies, professionals and other stakeholders as well. In that meet, he said that coming together of talent and technology guarantees a brighter future for the world. Now remember, this visit by the Prime Minister has been marked by pledges of deeper US-India cooperation on areas including space, artificial intelligence, quantum computing and tech at large. And it has involved several deals of companies, of US companies coming in India and expanding their plans in India. So this meeting is extremely important in that context. And as you can see, the Prime Minister in those exclusive visuals we're getting you from Washington, as my colleague Maha Siddiqui has been reporting from there, you can see the Prime Minister along with the US President Joe Biden met the Apple CEO Tim Cook, the Microsoft CEO Satya Nadella, Reliance Industries Chairperson Mr. Mukesh Ambani, Mahindra and Mahindra Chairperson Mr. Anand Mahindra, among other top CEOs and professionals that he met, as you can see in those visuals. So let's just now listen in to what the two leaders said after this meeting.
और राष्ट्रपति बाइडेन का इस महत्वपूर्ण भले ही छोटी हो, लेकिन मैं कहता हूं ये होनहार है, ये शानदार है और ये धारदार भी है और ये आने वाले भविष्य को बनाने वाली है.
And so our partnership between India and the United States will go a long way, in my view, to define what the 21st century looks like. And our technological cooperation will be a big part of defining our partnership.
My colleague Maha Siddiqui is now joining us from Washington. And Maha, as you've been tracking the Prime Minister's visit, we've seen those visuals of him meeting the top CEOs there in Washington. So take us through the events, the important events that happened today, what's happening currently, and what's on the Prime Minister's agenda next.
So currently the Prime Minister is in a luncheon that is being hosted by Vice President Kamala Harris. It's in the U.S. State Department, and U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken is also present for that lunch. In fact, there are some CEOs, some Indian origin congressmen who are all part of this small gathering. In the morning, as we have shown those visuals and you just referred to the statements by the Prime Minister and the President, the two leaders met with CEOs and industry leaders from both India and the United States with the idea, Priyanshi, that the industry should cooperate to take the tech partnership forward. Jake Sullivan has said that governments can only be facilitators in this case. The technological partnership has to be propelled by the industry. So, collaboration of industry from both sides, how to do it, it's not an easy job, and therefore there needs to be some common meeting ground for these companies, and that is why this was facilitated by both sides, a conversation with the CEOs. We saw some of the top tech CEOs, Sundar Pichai, Satya Nadella, Tim Cook, they were all present for the meeting. Even NASA astronaut, this is Sunita Williams, also part of that meeting from the Indian side, Anand Mahindra, Mukesh Ambani, all trying to brainstorm on how to take this partnership forward. Going ahead, the Prime Minister will have some one-on-one meetings with CEOs as well, and after which he has an event by the US-India Strategic Partnership Forum where he'll be addressing some young entrepreneurs. And after that, he'll be wrapping up his visit to the US with a meeting with the diaspora.
All right, Maha, of course, we'll be tracking those important events coming up for the Prime Minister. Thanks very much for joining us. And as we've told you several times, a series of deals have been signed during this visit, and they highlight that besides defense, it's technology that's a key area of partnership for the United States and for India. So we take a closer look at the agreements on technology through this visit, from the Micron semiconductor deal to the joint research on quantum computing and AI. Here's a report explaining how India is getting what it wants in terms of technological cooperation.
It's being called a technology partnership for the future. And if you look at the final outcomes mentioned in the joint statement of Prime Minister Modi's visit, it's clear that high-tech is at the heart of what India wants and what India appears now to be getting. The big takeaway, semiconductor supply chains. Micron technology will support India's semiconductor mission with an $800 million investment in a new $2.75 billion semiconductor assembly and test facility in India. Lam Research will train a whopping 60,000 Indian engineers on semiconductors to accelerate development. It's one thing to talk about semiconductor chips which run essentially all modern electronic appliances, but sourcing rare materials for their manufacture is a huge challenge, which is why America and India have entered a critical minerals partnership along with 12 other countries. Why? And this is unsaid in the joint agreement, but China has the largest reserves of rare earth minerals in the world, and countries like the US and India do not want to be dependent on China. Even here, in this sphere, geostrategy is at play. India's digital economy is based on smartphone technology. Digital governance depends on it, quite apart from e-commerce or hundreds of other applications that power our lives. We are now in a 5G universe, but the future is 6G, and this is where India and the US will collaborate. India's Bharat 6G and the US NextG alliance will now co-lead this public-private research. So what is 6G? What are Open RAN systems? That's what we're going to try and explain. Well, Open RAN refers to a more flexible architecture to existing cell phone networks, a new industry-wide set of standards that are needed to connect smartphones and other devices to the internet. And 6G, well, that is truly transformative. With massively increased bandwidth on offer, 6G will be able to support autonomous driving, 4D navigation maps, new sensory experiences like immersive extended reality and high-definition holograms. The future is here. India and the United States are also now looking to step up cooperation in quantum, advanced computing and artificial intelligence, joint research, joint development, joint commercialization. Google is a key partner in the process, working closely with the Indian Institute of Science to collect speech data for artificial intelligence models. So what is quantum and artificial intelligence, or AI? The University of Plymouth defines quantum physics as the science which reveals fundamental knowledge about the world around us. It points the way for new technologies that go beyond any devices currently available. It does so through a profound study of atoms to make sense of the smallest things in nature. But forget about the science for now. There are already plenty of applications. Computers and mobiles, transistor technology, lasers, microscopy, global positioning systems, MRI machines in hospitals and healthcare centers. Another area of collaboration, India's Department of Atomic Energy is investing $140 million in the US Department of Energy's Fermi National Laboratory to co-develop the Proton Improvement Plan 2 accelerator for the Long Baseline Neutrino Facility. Sounds confusing? Let me explain. The Plan 2 accelerator is a state-of-the-art particle accelerator that powers the world's most intense neutrino beam deep underground in the US state of Dakota to answer some of the most profound questions about our universe. This study is expected to yield scientific breakthroughs to questions which we've not even thought about so far. While the overall strategic relationship between India and the United States may be a primary focus, it's the investment in life-altering science and tech which impacts billions that may end up being a key bedrock of the equation between the world's oldest and the world's largest democracy. Vishnu Shom for NDTV.
Along with tech, India and the United States have also entered into a next-generation defense partnership with two key deals: a jet engine technology transfer between General Electric and Hindustan Aeronautics Limited, and an armed drone acquisition deal with General Atomics. F-414 jet engines will now be made in India, and this will be a big boost for Make in India. Take a look at our report for the details.
We were strangers in defense cooperation at the turn of century. Now, the United States has become one of our most important defense partners.
A new chapter in defense cooperation added to India-US ties. The two strategic partners walked away with three key agreements. In a major push to make in India in the defense sector, the GE Hindustan Aeronautics Limited deal to jointly produce F-414 jet engine in India means a greater transfer of US jet engine technology than ever before.
भारत और अमेरिका के बीच करीबी रक्षा सहयोग हमारे आपसी विश्वास और साझा रणनीतिक प्राथमिकताओं का प्रतीक है। पुराने समय के बायर सेलर्स रिलेशनशिप पीछे छोड़कर आज हम ट्रांसफर ऑफ टेक्नोलॉजी, को डेवलपमेंट और को प्रोडक्शन की तरफ बढ़ चुके हैं। जनरल इलेक्ट्रिक द्वारा भारत में टेक्नोलॉजी ट्रांसफर के माध्यम से इंजन बनाने का निर्णय एक लैंडमार्क एग्रीमेंट है।
On the surveillance front, procurement of close to 30 armed drones will increase India's intelligence gathering and reconnaissance capabilities, especially along the border areas. A master ship repair agreement has been inked between the US Navy and Larsen & Toubro shipyard in Kattupalli, Chennai, and two other such agreements are close to being finalized. These will allow US naval vessels deployed in the Indo-Pacific region to undergo service and repair at Indian shipyards.
We are growing our major defense partnership with more joint exercises, more cooperation between our defense industries, and more consultation and coordination across all domains.
US accounts for 40% of global arms transfers, and India remains the world's largest importer. So the latest deals suit both to the T. Be it the Defense Innovation Bridge Indus X that was inaugurated during Lloyd Austin's visit in June, or a new defense industrial cooperation roadmap that will boost collaborative research, testing and prototyping of technologies. Clearly, the long winter of no defense technology transfers from US to India has finally ended. Bureau Report, NDTV.
Welcome back. The mega opposition meeting is over. More than 15 opposition parties have agreed to work together towards contesting the 2024 Lok Sabha elections against the BJP. But one more meeting will be held next month in Himachal Pradesh's Shimla to finalize the details of this. Well, this has been decided after a 4-round-long mega opposition meeting in Patna, hosted by the Chief Minister Nitish Kumar. But there are clear cracks in the opposition unity. The Aam Aadmi Party dropped a bombshell saying that it will not be a part of any future opposition gatherings until the Congress publicly opposes the centre's contentious ordinance taking away the control of administrative services from the Delhi government. The Congress, in its response, according to sources, has said that the Aam Aadmi Party cannot put a gun to the Congress's head and demand negotiations. Take a look at what all happened.
A big show of opposition unity ahead of the crucial 2024 national election. 17 parties attended this major meeting hosted by Bihar Chief Minister Nitish Kumar in Patna. The big takeaways: a resolve to fight the 2024 national election together and to hold a second opposition meeting next month led by the Congress.
अच्छी मुलाकात हुई है और एक साथ चलने की सहमति हुई है।
थोड़ी थोड़ी डिफरेंसेस होंगी, मगर हमने ये निर्णय लिया है कि हम एक साथ काम करेंगे।
बीजेपी गवर्नमेंट कानून ले आएंगे, जो काला कानून, हम लोगों ने एक साथ में मिलके वो काला कानून का खिलाफ में हम लोग लड़ाई करेंगे।
But roadblocks almost immediately in the opposition show of strength. Before the meeting ended, the Aam Aadmi Party dropped a bombshell, saying it will not be part of any future opposition gatherings that include the Congress, until the party publicly opposes the centre's contentious ordinance on the control of administrative services in Delhi. The BJP questioned whether opposition unity was just a bunch of photo ops.
आज पटना की धरती पर राहुल को आदर सहित उनको स्वागत करते हुए जब मैं इनकी तस्वीरें देख रहा हूं तो मुझे याद आता है कि राजनीति में क्या से क्या हो गया, कहां से चले थे और कहां पहुंच गए, इसकी यात्रा मुझे दिखाई देती है।
As Aam Aadmi Party has announced that it will not be part of a coalition involving Congress till the latter makes its stand clear on Delhi ordinance issue, sources in the Congress party say that they will not give in to the threats of Aam Aadmi Party, and the next meeting will be held in Shimla either on July 10th or July 12th, and it's up to the Aam Aadmi Party whether to attend the meet or not. Sources further add that any decision on Delhi ordinance issue will be taken in consultation with the state units and also with the like-minded opposition parties only closer to the parliament session. With camera person Rajesh Gupta, this is Arvind Gunasekar for NDTV.
So the Congress party has now given out a rebuttal for the Aam Aadmi Party's statement. After the AAP issued a statement regarding the Congress's stance on the ordinance, Congress sources have told NDTV that in the meeting, the Congress President Mallikarjun Kharge read out several instances of the Aam Aadmi Party's provocative statements against the Congress. He also mentioned yesterday's statement in which vitiated the environment for this meeting in Patna. Mr. K.C. Venugopal of the Congress also reacted, saying that one cannot put a gun to the Congress's head and demand negotiations. The Congress president noted that the Aam Aadmi Party regularly attended the meetings of opposition parties where common and agreeable strategies are worked out, and nothing necessitates a different mechanism for the ordinance, and put it as a precondition for the alliance to fight against the BJP government. That's what Congress sources are telling us. There were also sharp exchanges between the Congress and AAP during the meeting, according to sources. The Aam Aadmi Party chief Arvind Kejriwal sought the Congress's stand on the ordinance issue. They sought their support, while the Congress chief Mallikarjun Kharge raised the Aam Aadmi Party chief spokesperson Priyanka Kakkar's allegation that the Congress is not taking a stand because of a deal with the BJP. Ms. Kakkar, in an interview to NDTV minutes ahead of this meeting, had said that they came to know from reliable sources that there's a consensus between the Congress and the BJP, which is why the Congress is now not supporting the Aam Aadmi Party. That's what sources are now telling us.